A look at our weather forecast for today in Amherst. It's 79 degrees, a bit muggy up here, but the players are good to go, Steve. A little bit of a breeze, the humidity's up. It feels like summer lacrosse as opposed to spring, but we're in for two really good games today.
Absolutely. Weather could play a factor today. First time for both of these teams to be playing out here in some heat. And this is something to watch right here, the face-off game. If Hofstra's going to have a chance today, ball possession, ball control, sloppy turnover there, but they're going to have to at least go 50% at the X today.
Kyle Gallagher and Noah Rack, the matchup featured at X. You got your first look of Ryan Tierney, the leading scorer for the Pride this season. A sophomore, son of head coach Seth Tierney. First UMass possession, leading the conference in goals per game. Again, they've won 9 games in a row. The last loss was 2 months ago against formerly number 1 Albany. Out on the field now is strong midi and Jeff Trainer. Sends it off now to a deep shot and a score for UMass. They are on the board first. Jeff Trainer with the goal, his 25th of the season.
Just some lazy defense here from Hofstra. Got to get out into this man Trainer, their best offensive midi. Got to get on his hip. Got to start to drive him down the alley. And if you're off ball, you're the man on the crease. You got to recognize that your defenseman, your teammate was beat there. You got to slide. You got to go to Trainer. Again, he's UMass's best offensive midi. Got to show him a little bit more respect than when Hofstra showed him right there.
Earned CAA first team honors. Trainer second on the team in goals behind Buddy Carr. Gallagher won the first draw. This time it's Noah Rack. He has capability of scoring. UMass on offense again. They have the long pole, Shane Rinkus, 12 in the white. Another first teamer in the conference. This UMass team, dangerous in transition. You can't turn it over. And of course, when Rack's winning faceoffs, they're just as good.
And that's why it's so important for Hofstra to play good, solid 6-on-6 defense. They want to create a 6-on-6 type of a game. They want to eliminate that transition, so they've got to be better and more solid on the defensive end because you know UMass is going to get a few in transition today.
Redshirt junior Dom St. Laurent, one of 8 seniors on the squad that were honored last Friday, 6 days ago, when these two very teams met up to close out regular season play. Up top, it's Ben Spencer. Another senior, bounce shot from the Danville, California native, misses wide. Tanner Griffin chasing for Hofstra up against the CAA Rookie of the Year, Chris Connolly. So you have a look at Jack and Cannon and Cage. A top 25 nominee for the Tewaaraton Award. Hofstra has one of the best goals against averages in the nation. Behind Cage, it's Connolly. Out to Carr. Hofstra defensively wants to be a little bit more feisty this week. That's the word Seth Tierney used. Talking to him this week. Brendan Lynch guarding tightly on Ben Spencer. A rocket save Concannon.
Much better job from Hofstra defensively there, getting out into those dodgers, getting on their hips. You could see UMass didn't really have any opportunities there. That was a weak shot. That's something easy that Concannon could save every time. So much better job defensively from Hofstra.
First touch for Jimmy Yanis, who finished the season with 22 goals as the rest of the Hofstra offense flutters in. 2.5 minutes gone by, 1-0 UMass thanks to Jeff Trainer.
Hofstra, long possessions here today. You want to keep that UMass offense off of the field. You got to get back in the hole in transition. And I think if they're going to have any success here offensively, it's got to be from the midfield. It's got to be Moser, Alderman, and Kavanaugh. They're going to have big days from the midfield for Hofstra.
Alderman, one of the captains, sweeps to Tierney. Misfires. That shot was backed up by the Pride. Well, Ryan Tierney has come out with a really aggressive season. 4 goals down from where he was last year. He had 31 as a freshman, the most by a Hofstra freshman since 2006. Yanis comes up firing, and it spirals out of play. Alderman there to back up. There's Sean Scanoni, the goalie for UMass. He has been outstanding these last 4 games. A record of 5-3. Earned the starting job after a great outing against Delaware. And he's been in cage since for Greg Cannella. Alderman making his move. Upstairs, he scores. And we're tied at 1.
And that's exactly what you want to see from Hofstra offensively. Those midfielders are going to have to make plays today. You talked about the sophomore Tierney. He's got a tough assignment today with Isaac Piparo, the defensive player of the CAA and overall player of the CAA. But right there, Hofstra again, attacking from the midfield, getting down the alley, and doing a nice job just finishing that high-to-high. So again, if you're Hofstra, you like to see that. That's a good sign for that offense. These midfielders have got to get going for them today.
Hofstra bench fired up for the senior captain, Dylan Alderman. His 87th career point, 44 goals as well for the senior from Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Here's a look at the matchup at the X. With a little more detail, we have the first and third ranked face-off guys in this conference. Gallagher throws it away for Hofstra after winning the draw. Can UMass clear though? Not quite, lost it out of bounds. Possession stays with Hofstra.
Gallagher's got 2 wins, but on both of those wins, they turned it over right away. So they got lucky here getting this one back, but that's something he's going to have to take care of the ball. Wins it clean, got to handle the ball, can't have early turnovers, got to get your offense on the field.
Gallagher, just a sophomore from Northport, New York. A year ago, he finished under 48% at X. This season, up over 57%. You want to talk about an improvement. Gallagher's given that at the X. Here's Alex Mosier, a two-way midi. Got the dump down to Brendan Kavanaugh, another senior on this Hofstra attack. Kavanaugh with the dump. Kick to Alderman. Finds a man cutting up, that's Tierney, whistles upstairs. Hofstra is showing patience.
Tierney right there showing you he's dynamic and come off of the top. Obviously an attackman, likes to play behind and on those wings, but right there, Seth Tierney bringing his son up top, letting him go off of the top. So mixing him up a little bit, getting him into some space.
Off the ground ball, UMass is lethal in transition as they went for it there, did get the backup. We're 5 minutes deep into the opening quarter, and we're tied at 1. Trainer leaves the field, dishes to Dom St. Laurent. Both sidelines are fired up. Kevin Tobin feeds to a bounce shot, and a save, Concannon airs it out to Luke Gomez. Failed clear by Hofstra, a team that's been really good at clearing the ball this season.
And that's something they've got to take care of their turnovers today. Already today, I think they have 3. So Hofstra's got to be more careful and take care of the ball. Take a look at the save here from Concannon. Nice bounce shot from the ball. It's an easy stop for him. Gets it out, but Hofstra wasn't able to handle.
Jake Lasoskis with the missile. Jack Concannon this season, again, we talked about his Tewaaraton place, a top 25 nominee. He's 4th in the nation in goals against average. Those 14 goals that UMass scored back last Friday certainly weren't all of his fault. But as Seth Tierney likes to say, Jack Concannon is a thumb guy, meaning he will be the first one to take blame and responsibility. Trainer on the spin, has the double team, now he has daylight. Kicks out, Lasoskis again from deep, Concannon with the stop.
Hofstra gonna get called with a cross check here.
Blue! Blue 48! Cross check, 1 minute. Blue!
Here is today's officiating crew.
Cross 1!
Again, referee today, Tim McCaffrey, umpire Peter Weaver, and field judge is Brian Lussinger. Here's a look. There was the flag right below Gomez. UMass on the man up. But an average unit when it comes to the conference. Feet on the doorstep. Turnover, Tanner Griffin in the right place to pick up the ground ball for Hofstra. Pride still have 30 seconds to kill. Freshman Dylan McIntosh with the ball, a 20-goal season for the freshman from British Columbia. He made the all-conference rookie team, along with other freshmen Dominic Pryor and Keegan Santos. Alderman patiently waiting so they can kill more of this penalty. It's now down to zeros. Both teams at even strength. Steve said it from the start. Hofstra wants to slow this game down. They've done so here in the first. Midway through. Alderman. Over to McIntosh. He's got Billy Philpott, the shorty, on him. McIntosh squeezes by, shoots and scores! Hofstra takes the lead. 21st of the season for Dylan McIntosh.
Freshman makes a nice play here. Just attacks the short stick here. Simple dodge here, puts it to his weak hand, comes back to his strong hand. Not much of an angle there, makes a nice play there, squeaks it by the goalie. Really nice play from McIntosh. So watching Hofstra offensively so far today, a lot of attack from up top. Trying to stay away from this really talented, close defense of UMass. So midfielders and even attackmen getting some action off the top. So that's a key for them, and so far it's worked for me today.
He brings some flashes of the box game with Josh Byrne exiting. A fellow Canadian box player, enter Dylan McIntosh, finding his spot on the scene in the CAA tournament. Again, the last time UMass lost this year was 2 months ago to the day. It was against Albany, the #1 team in the country. Minutemen have won 9 straight. Ben Spencer plays off the pick as Rack exit with Gallagher. Face-off men are off. 6:30 to play in the first, 2-1's our score. Trainer's got the lone goal for the Minutemen. McIntosh and Alderman have the scores for the Pride. Connolly hanging out behind the cage. Trouble for Philpott. Ground ball, Santos nearly got it, UMass keeps it alive. Outside shot by Tobin. Whistled out free. Now Devin Spencer, feed to the door, Jack Kincannon. Sliding right to make the stop. Ben Spencer from out deep, and Kincannon is a man on a mission going down to a knee.
He is seeing the ball extremely well today, making all types of saves, up top, down low, one-on-one, in tight. He is seeing the ball so well. He is completely dialed in, and that's a good sign for Hofstra, because when he's dialed in, he could just close the door on you.
He's already got 7 saves in this first quarter, proving his worth in cage. A 3-time All-CAA selection. Jack Kincannon with a hot start in cage, and his team has a 2-1 lead. Here's a look at the save.
Take a look right there, up top. Gets down low on that one. Then you've got that loose ball where Hofstra gets 2 on the ball. Some odd man situation. Then he makes the in-tight save there, going from side to side, making that big stop. He has been lights out so far here early on in this game. And again, Hofstra's going to need that from him today.
Talked about Hofstra, a team that was inside the top 20 of the Inside Lacrosse poll early in the season. And the Pride, as we look and see how they got here to this point, a 6-7 overall record. They had one game that was canceled earlier in the season against Georgetown. So we have a look. Well, the Pride. They're trying to rebound from Josh Byrne. They went 2-3 in conference play, allowed their fewest goals in the CAA this season. Sophomore goalie Jack Kincannon, as we just spoke on, led the CAA in save percentage and goals allowed per game. Ryan Tierney was certainly a stud in his sophomore season. No sophomore slump for him. 49 points, which is tied for second in the conference. Hofstra, even though they didn't win last Friday against UMass, did squeeze into this tournament, and they are just as lethal maybe as they were last year, should they get great goaltending out of Kincannon.
Very streaky team. Couple wins in a row, couple losses, very up and down for them. So very dangerous team for UMass, because when they do play to their capabilities. They could beat anybody in the CAA. So tough matchup here for UMass, especially, again, if they're clicking on all cylinders. And by the looks of it so far, they're playing much better than they did last week.
Out of the UMass timeout. 5:30 to play here in the first. Hofstra on offense. 2 goals already, 1 for McIntosh, 1 for Alderman, the captain. Alex Mosier sees the slide from the defense. Cut to McIntosh. Ill-advised shot, backed up by Jimmy Yanis. The Pride did have a signature win against North Carolina earlier in the season. Now, granted, the Tar Heels have not been as good as we thought they would be in the ACC this season, but a challenging non-conference schedule, as all these teams do in the league. Alderman almost nicked the pipe he might have off the left side.
Great offense so far from Hofstra. Good ball movement. Guys are dodging hard, dodging with a purpose. And when the slide comes, they've been able to get it out of their stick right away and catch UMass in their slides and recovery. So really nice job so far from this 6-on-6 offense out of Hofstra.
Seth Tierney's team, 3rd straight year in the conference tournament, have not been to the final since 2014. Yanis looking for space. As the pole, Luke Valenza guarding, bounce shot, Scanoni does cover it up. The junior airs it out to midfield to Isaac Paparo, Conference Player of the Year. And Hofstra does a nice job getting back defensively to prevent that dangerous transition of the Minutemen.
It's not even the early transition. You know, they get those clean breaks, those 4-on-3s, 5-on-4s. They do a great job in the subbing game here in between the lines. So their transition, even if it stopped early on, it continues through the early part of the possession until they get all matched up 6-on-6. So you got to be careful in the sub game. You've got to be alert if you're Hofstra.
As you have a look, we've discussed the multitude of bodies that can score the ball and also feed for UMass. Buddy Carr with 53 points, the first UMass player with north of 50 since Will Manny did that in 2012. The pole with the feed. Carr, the score, his first today. Speaking of, 33rd for Buddy Carr, and UMass has even the score at 2.
And we talked about it. That's part of their subbing game. They still have a defenseman on the field playing early offense before they get settled 6-on-6. And because he stays in the play, because he stays on that side of the ball, he's able to create this odd man situation, and then Carr's able to just step down and just let it rip low to high. So again, if you're Hofstra, you've got to do a better job in the subbing game, and you can't allow these guys to get opportunities 6-on-5 because you don't do a good job with getting on and off the field.
You see the breakdown of what Carr's done over his last 3 years since his sophomore year with 26 points. So now he's up to a career 110 points, 69 goals, 41 assists, in 57 games. All-conference first-team selection. If it wasn't for his teammate Isaac Paparo, as Rack comes in, Concannon with the stop. If it wasn't for Paparo, maybe Carr takes home Conference Player of the Year.
Another big stop from Concannon. UMass got a little bit of momentum here. That's a huge stop for them. Hofstra needed that.
8th save of the day. Under 3 minutes left of the first. We are tied at 2. Hofstra wants a low-scoring game given the way their season's gone. So we'll have a look in a moment at Jack Concannon's most recent stop. Again, 4th in the country in goals against.
And another in-tight one-on-one save. Got a little bit of pressure on his hands, but not really open look. And Concannon does a nice job of making that save. Quick hands, very quick hands from Concannon.
Trainer fights for room, feet out in front. What a shot and what a score, Buddy Carr. Second already for Carr. UMass has the lead back.
Difficult shot here from Carr. Had his back to the net. didn't have a lot of time to turn and take a look at the net and get a good look at it. But right here, you're going to see he catches the feed here. Just knew where he was, knew where he wanted to go with it as soon as he caught it, and did a really nice job of just getting in and out of his stick, realizing that pressure was coming, and puts it in a perfect spot right next to the pipe. Beautiful shot from Carr.
Jeff Traynor had 2 defenders coming to swarm him as well, and he got it off just in time for Buddy Carr to do his thing. Last game against this Hofstra team, Carr had 3 goals, including 2 man-up goals. He's already got 2 today. We've had 3 different lead changes already. UMass has led twice. Hofstra's had the lead once. Minutemen last year stunned this Hofstra team to move on to the CAA title game. If they win today, it would be their 3rd title game appearance over the last 4 seasons. Greg Canella's teams have been knocking on the door, but haven't got over that hump. Of course, it's been Towson's league the last 3 years. Tigers got all the way to the Final Four a year ago. Excellent move by St. Laurent. Dump to Connolly. Here's a kick to Kevin Tobin. He's just a freshman. Devin Spencer with the ball. Brendan Lynch, the shorty, on Spencer. Swung back to Charlie O'Brien. St. Laurent on the goal line. Held up. Nice defense by Mark Ellis, the shorty, 34 in the blue.
UMass attacking those short sticks from Hofstra. All of their dodges have been against Hofstra short sticks, whether it's from the wing, up top, invert set, bringing those guys behind. So obviously they like their matchups with their guys versus the Hofstra short sticks.
Under a minute to play in the first. Look at Greg Canella down to a knee. Eyes locked in on this UMass possession. 24 years as the head coach. Steve Panarelli was playing for Syracuse, and Greg Canella was still coaching.
Hey. He's not that old.
Figured I'd get that in now before we get to Saturday.
There's a lot of guys who could say that they played against Coach Canella. Always done a great job with this program. Always aggressive, play physical, always play hard, and always played my style of lacrosse, which is up and down in transition.
15 seconds. Carr just blasted another one from outside. Missed wide. Still 14 seconds to play with. Canella reached 200 career wins earlier in the season against Drexel. St. Laurent with 5 seconds. Dashing to his left. Spencer to Carr with his right. And Concannon spirals to his right to make the save. We're at the end of 1 at Garber Field in Amherst. A 3-2 lead for the UMass Minutemen. This team is trying to get back to the conference championship game for a 2nd straight year, and most importantly, to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2012. Buddy Carr was outstanding for UMass. A pair of goals, and the number 16 team in the country has the lead on the Pride at the end of 1. Come back for more CAA tournament coverage here on Lac Sports Network.
The transition game has been great for them all season long, and then defensively, they've done a nice job here this year. So all around, and at the face-off X, they're very talented there too. So very overall team, very, very well-rounded, and could do it all. And obviously that's why they're the number 1 seed here in the CAA.
And as we just discussed during the break, Hofstra fortunate. Jack Concannon with 9 saves in that first quarter.
Yeah, you can't expect him to have 9 saves every quarter. So they're going to have to step up their level of play here. Again, we talked about it. They're going to have to play extremely patient on offense, possession, win some face-offs, and again, eliminate that UMass transition game.
It's one of the best rivalries in the conference. 45th meeting between UMass and Hofstra. Minutemen have won 5 of the last 8 meetings. Hofstra on offense here on the right side. Turnover, the pass intended for Dylan McIntosh.
And that's one of those sloppy turnovers that they cannot afford to have. That's just a wasted possession. They've got to possess the ball, work not for the first shot, but for the best shot. And right there, again, that's just another empty and wasted opportunity for them offensively. It was sloppy turnover.
It's Hofstra's 5th turnover of the game. UMass with just 2. At the X so far, Kyle Gallagher's won 3 of 7. Noah Rack's won 4 of the other 7. Two-way midi Kevin Tobin to another stud midfielder, a captain for UMass, Jake Lisoskis, senior from Derry, New Hampshire. Hofstra playing straight man here. Nice move by Connolly and flicked away. Concannon with his 10th save already.
Another good save off hip, able to get there. Again, see how quick his hands are. He's seen the ball so well today. He's so dialed in, and he's been just absolutely huge for Hofstra. Otherwise, this score might be pretty lopsided if it wasn't for Concannon.
Makes close to 10 saves a game. We've spoke on Hofstra with a lack of firepower offensively, averaging under 9 goals per game. When Josh Byrne was here last year, it was up over 11 goals per game. So his absence has taken its toll, but the elevated play of Concannon still makes them a viable threat in this tournament. Billy Philpott, the shorty, on Dylan Alderman, who has scored a goal today for the Pride. Hofstra trying to get back to the title game for the first time in 4 years. Turnover as Tierney was missed on that pass. Loose at midfield, and it's UMass possession. Devin Spencer looks to avoid the offsides, and he moves.
Yet another sloppy turnover. Just a simple pass, transitioning the ball from one guy to another. Got to hook those passes up, and again, you can't have these empty and wasted possessions.
6 turnovers for Hofstra. Led the conference in least turnovers committed per game with 10.5. That was also second best in the nation in regular season play. Speaking of turnovers, Charlie O'Brien lost the ball. Brendan Lynch scoops it up. Back comes Hofstra. He'll settle things down. The dish to Kavanaugh. Charlie O'Brien for UMass, just a sophomore from Chelmsford, Massachusetts. See some time at midfield as well, a player who did not play much a season ago. Alderman with the ball. Dan O'Brien, the long pole, defending. Here's Tierney, who had 1 goal last Friday in this matchup. He did take 8 shots in the game. He's got that tough matchup, as Steve mentioned, of Isaac Paparo. Alderman slides down, a flag comes in, our second of the day, and on the ground ball, Valenza picks it up for UMass, and we'll get the call here in a moment. So Valenza hit with the cross check. Hofstra on the man up for the first time today. Luke Valenza, senior captain. He scored his first career goal here last Friday. That was quite a sight. Here's a look, Steve.
Take a look here, a little slip here as he gets to that double team, and he just comes right down with that cross check, right to the head. Simple and easy call for the officiating crew.
Once again, Tim McCaffrey is our head referee for this CAA tournament semifinal. 4 seed Hofstra, 1 seed UMass. These two met in the semis last year. Hofstra's man-up unit, 3rd best in the conference, just over 34%. They went 1 for 5 on Friday against the Minutemen. Tierney to the door. McIntosh, the spin shot. Saves Scanoni. There was an extra set of hands in there. Jackson Subak was in there to help block the shot as well.
And that was a great look from Tierney. Just turns right out of it and just watch this, just fires. That's like a Tom Brady type pass. That thing was on a laser, that thing was on a rope. Unable to finish, but a really nice pass from the sophomore.
5 more seconds to kill for the Minutemen. Both teams have had a man-up opportunity. Neither has scored. Ben Spencer displays patience. Jesse Lung enters the field for the Minutemen, a sophomore from Brookline, Mass. Up top, it's Spencer. Has the capability of making the outside shot. The sun starts to shine on Garber Field. We had rain earlier. Thunderstorms in the forecast for later tonight. Our opening face-off temperature just under 80 degrees. Trainer to Lasoskis. Lasoskis stomps on the brakes, out to Trainer. Tight feed to Lung, it's loose, and he grabs it back.
And Hofstra's showing here 6-on-6. If you can eliminate UMass's sub game and that early transition, you can match up with these guys, you can play with these guys. But again, you got to stop that early transition and you got to be smart and prepared in the subbing game.
Under 9 minutes left in the first half, and UMass extends its lead. Jake Lasoskis cutting in, he got the feed and put it home.
Right here, just a nice off-ball cut. Fills that gap. Hofstra was kind of in like a half of a slide there. Probably no reason to go there and commit to that slide. He just fills that gap and then finishes it left-handed. So nice job by him off ball there, recognizing that his man went too far with that slide and didn't really go all the way. And again, just filled that void and able to stick it.
Lasoskis, a senior captain, making it another start and scoring in another start. That's now 15 points in 12 starts this year. UMass doubling Hofstra, 4-2. That's 3 in a row for the Minutemen. Hofstra was leading 2-1. So we have a look at goals per. We've talked about Hofstra. They like the lower scoring games. Had to rebound with no Josh Byrne this year. A lot of the onus is on Ryan Tierney, who was shut down last week. And like we talked about, they're going to put a lot of attention on 43. So these other players like Kavanaugh and Alderman, McIntosh, they've got to fill in the gaps here for the Pride. Alderman's already got one. Feed off to Mosier. Tierney dropped the ball momentarily. Paparo is all over him. Feed in front. McIntosh stopped by Scanoni on his toes. He did get the deflection.
Another good look from Tierney right there. Got a guy all over his hands. Finds his team in the inside. They just got to finish some of these for him.
Now from behind, it's Jimmy Yanis who sneaks it into the pocket. One goal game once again in Amherst.
Jimmy Yanis just sneaking around here with his left hand. Throughout his career has been a great finisher. And right here, he's going to come around left-handed. Defenseman's late getting to him. And that's just a simple, easy play for Jimmy Yanis.
23rd of the season, Yanis with 34 points in his junior year. From Mission Viejo, California. Got a feel for his situation. ACL tear 2 years ago kept him out for the year for the Pride and bounced back with 20 goals a season ago in 2017 and tops that number with 23 and counting this year. Off the wing, it's Gallagher, and Seth Tierney wants to chat with his squad, down just a goal. Hofstra trying to slow the game down as we are midway through this second quarter. Well, we've discussed how these two teams often play in rock fights. Almost every CAA game, never mind the tournament, is a rock fight with just 5 regular season games. Let's go back a year ago. We were down in Towson, and Hofstra was building a comeback, trailing into the fourth quarter. Josh Byrne worked his magic, had a 5-goal performance. Ryan Tierney was also excellent as a freshman. There you see DJ Smith, former goalie for UMass. Ben Spencer was excellent from outside. Here's Byrne again. We were on hand for this ball game. We saw the Dan Muller buzzer beater, which you'll see there in a moment. Just a tremendous finish. Heartbreak for Hofstra. UMass with a terrific way to close it out.
One of the craziest finishes I've ever seen in lacrosse history. I mean, you see buzzer beaters in basketball all the time, but from that far out, that moment, CAA tournament on the line, that was absolutely incredible, the way that game finished up.
One of the craziest finishes in Greg Canella's tenure as head coach, the 24th year. He remembers way back when. You probably remember this too, talking with your dad as well before the game today. There was an upset of Hofstra way back as well for UMass back, I think, in the early 2000s. And you remember playing against Greg Canella's teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And for them to get upsets, like you said, that Hofstra game, that was an NCAA quarterfinal game.
That's right. Okay.
Hofstra was the favorite, but again, this UMass team, they take his persona. He's a gutsy guy. He's a gritty guy. They always play with a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. So his teams are always prepared, and again, they always play hard. So you always got to show up against this UMass team. He's just done an incredible job throughout his tenure as the head coach.
Over his tenure, Canella's brought in plenty of Massachusetts natives, New England natives. Loves that Boston spirit that he gets out of his players, especially here on campus. Ryan Tierney with a rocket downstairs. Scanoni reels it in. Dishes out to Philpott, the midi. Philpott winds up, and Concannon remains to play on top of his head right now. Drilled out, and over to get it for UMass. That's Jake Marino, another short stick. And the rebound back in. UMass sticks with the play, and it's a score for Devin Spencer. 17th of the season for the sophomore.
And you could just see how comfortable they are playing in transition. Precise passing, right there. Look at that. He knew exactly where he was going with it. They're always in the right spot. It's something that you can work on in practice, but you got to have the type of guys that just know how to play in space and know how to play in transition. And Coach Canella's got that, and Spencer was able to finish that one there. But very, very precise and nice passing from this UMass offense.
Scored a goal last game against Hofstra. The Spencer family has a long connection to this university. Ben and Devin Spencer, both brothers on the team. Their father, Ted, played at UMass back in the early 1980s. Greg Canella loves having Spencers on his team. On the ground ball, this is Hofstra. Mark Ellis scooped it up after Gallagher got the initial win at X. Gallagher's been pretty good. He's won 60% of the faceoffs. He was decent last Friday as well.
He has done a good job today. The only concern with him is just turning the ball over after he wins it, so he's just got to be careful there. But he's done a nice job, and along with Concannon, he's going to have to continue to do a good job if Hofstra's going to have a shot here today.
11 saves for Concannon. Gallagher's got 2 turnovers. Also 5 ground balls as we have 6 minutes to go in the first half. Talked about Hofstra, a team that's taken care of the ball all season. 7 turnovers already. Practically a lob by Tierney, and Scanoni makes an easy save.
His last 2 shots weren't the best shot selection. I know he's trying to get off. He's the leader of this offense, and he's got to find his looks, but he's got to maybe pass that on and look for a better opportunity later in the possession.
Trainer with the bluff, and then a nice stop up top defensively by Hofstra's John Puckhaber. Timeout, Greg Canella and the Minutemen. Timeout, UMass. Lac Sports Network's coverage of Major League Lacrosse continues this weekend with 4 games. On Saturday, the defending champion Ohio Machine hosts the Charlotte Hounds at 5, and then at 6, the Boston Cannons play their home opener when they host the Dallas Rattlers on Sunday at 4 p.m. The Denver Outlaws visit the Florida Launch, and at 5, the New York Lizards host the Atlanta Blaze. All of those times Eastern, 2 days, 4 games, all live, only on Lac Sports Network. You'll be on hand Sunday, I believe, right, Steve? Atlanta and New York.
Yep, looking forward to it. Should be a good one.
Busy weekend. And we have work to do, though, here in Amherst before we get to Sunday. Plenty to get to.
Yeah, we're only 25% of the way through for our weekend so far. So
I believe it is finals week here on campus, so good to see some students making their way to catch the CAA tournament as we have a look at an updated stat board for us. 5-3 is our score. UMass the lead. Got 6 more shots off. Again, we've talked about Gallagher at X. He's been pretty good. Hofstra's turning the ball over.
That's the biggest difference right there. That's the stat you've got to watch. That's 7-3. We talked about how Hofstra wants to play a 6-on-6, slow down, shorten the game plan. But right now with 7 turnovers here, with still 5.5 left here, they've got to control that. They've got to take care of the ball. And because what happens too against UMass, a turnover turns into a fast break immediately. So it's not just even the turnover. Now you're creating that early offense for them. So they've got to do a better job of taking care of the ball.
Seth Tierney, by his count, he said there were about 5 transition goals that were led up of the 14. Last Friday, these two met to close the regular season, a 14-6 win for the Minutemen to go to 10-4 in the regular season. They stayed 16 as the number 16 team in the country going into this week. Tobin with the feed, got disrupted. Forced turnover by Hofstra. Tanner Griffin to clear. Up to Lynch. Swing to Ellis. And he crosses midfield. Hofstra with a crucial caused turnover as we have under 5 to play in this first half. Alderman enters the field. Mosier's getting set to check in. As Kennard comes off. Now their full attack unit is on. UMass has scored 4 of the last 5 in the game. Tierney to Alderman. They're whipping the ball around now. Kavanaugh to Tierney. Draws the mismatch, and Scanoni with the snatch. Weaved out to Philpott. He can fire here. Instead, he slows it down. Hofstra does not have a chance to get personnel on. Nice step. The shot wide by Philpott. Great step on Tierney. Talked about Jack and Cannon quite a bit, Steve. Sean Scanoni's been pretty good for UMass.
Yeah, he's made the stops that he's needed to right there. Tierney kind of fading away there, a little bit of an underhand shot. Scanoni's all over it. Nice save, and again, out right away, creating that transition.
8 first-half saves for the junior. Earned the starting job a couple of games ago during the Delaware game. He played 38-plus minutes, taking over for freshman Hampton Brannon. It's been his job since. 55 saves over his last 4 games. Matching Jack and Cannon. We have a 2-goal game, 3:15 to go in the first half. Again, don't forget, later tonight, number 2 seed Towson, the defending champions of the conference, takes on the number 3 seed Delaware Blue Hats. Charlie O'Brien up top. The short stick is Luke Gomez for Hofstra. O'Brien with the step, floats it down. Shot is up by St. Laurent. Backed up by Devin Spencer. What's so impressive with UMass is they have that capability of being strong in transition, but also just shut it down for a bit and slow the ball down, and they can also work the ball really well in the midfield. Yeah,
they attack you early in the possession with that transition. Then it's the next part, which is the subbing game, where they're attacking you. And there's a goal right there, 6-on-6.
A rocket from Ben Spencer. He is an outside threat. UMass doubling Hofstra again in this first half.
And just to finish that thought, so it goes at early transition, then they attack you with the subbing game, and then like you said, if nothing's there, they're patient enough, skilled enough, talented enough to slow it down and then play 6-on-6 and get looks like this. Just a nice little pass over the top, and Spencer does a great job of getting his hands all the way back and getting everything he possibly can into that shot. So really nice job, 2 in a row for Spencer. Puts UMass up 6-3.
Devin Spencer's older brother. Ben is a junior. Both hail from Danville, California. 5 of the last 6 goals belong to the Minutemen. Keegan Santos gets sandwiched, and it's plowed out. UMass defensively gets their slides in as they look to clear here. You know, Hofstra last week allowed 14 goals to this Minutemen team. Seth Tierney said, hey, we've got 6 days to get ready for this juggernaut offensively. And as you see there, Hofstra, one of the top goals against averages in the country. They've already allowed 6. Last week was certainly an outlier, but given the way the first half's gone, UMass has still found ways to exploit this defense. Still a blue sky here at Garber Field, some cloud cover as well. Connolly with the deep feed to Kevin Tobin. Brendan Lynch covering. Tobin getting bodied. There's a shoulder, and Greg Canella hollers for timeout. We'll take it as well with under 90 seconds to go in the half. It is 6-3 UMass. Here's a look here. Lynch guarding Tobin.
Does a nice job there. Gets him a little high there. Ref let that go. Got to appreciate that as a player.
Hey, Lac Sports Network's coverage of the CAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament gets underway tomorrow with the semifinals as well. At 4 p.m. Eastern, top-seeded James Madison hosts Delaware, and then at 6:30, number 2 Towson takes on 3-seed Elon. Catch every game of the CAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament only on Lac Sports Network. That is on the campus of JMU, a beautiful campus for the women's tournament to be taking place this season. Last year was at Towson. Timeout here, Greg Canella. Might be a good timeout as well for Hofstra, should they try and cause a turnover and get this deficit down to 2. Greg Canella's team, though, has played like a well-oiled machine as they've done all year long.
Oh, absolutely. They've looked very good here today. Good timeout from Coach Canella. Minute 30 left. You've got possession. Can't use those, those timeouts don't carry over, so might as well use it. Get your guys in. Talk to them about this last minute 30. You've got this 3-goal lead. Last thing you want to do is have a bad turnover and create some momentum and some transition from Hofstra. So good timeout. Get the boys settled down. Go over the play, talking about the last minute 30 here. Try to extend this lead and not give Hofstra an opportunity to get this down to 2.
Well, going into last Friday, UMass had already locked up the 1 seed. They knew they were going to be here. Every team that was going to get in the conference tournament knew the trip was to Amherst. Credit to Greg Canella's guys. They played start to finish excellent lacrosse. They even used a 10-0 run last week to pull away from this Hofstra team, a game they didn't have to win. But he's approached every game like the same this year. Timeout is over. UMass is on offense. Tobin making his move, goal line extended. Some nice pressure by the Hofstra D. Tobin has Connolly in his arsenal to the left. Now it's Lasoskis, 50 seconds to go in the first half. Spreads out and draws the shorty, Gomez. Back to Trainer, shot clock is on, down to 15. Feed upstairs, Trainer outside, deflected before it reached the net, and it's picked up by Puckhaber of Hofstra. Feed to his right. Hofstra to Mitch Kingsley. Kingsley, bounce feed, and McIntosh missed it wide. A rushed shot by Hofstra, but they had a look. Yanis did pick it up, 8 seconds to play with. Brendan Kavanaugh, the lefty, rocket, upstairs, missed it. 2 more seconds. Play resumes. Yanis, the pass, no room for Tierney. He was getting locked up by a UMass defender. Nonetheless, it's the end of the first half. UMass with the lead 6-3 on Hofstra. The Minutemen get a great effort out of Buddy Carr early. Jack and Cannon playing really well as well. Rack against Gallagher again at the X. Gallagher won 6 of 11 draws in half number 1. The winner advances to the CAA title game on Saturday and draws the winner of the game later tonight. Number 3 seed Delaware against number 2 seed Towson. That is also here on Lac Sports Network as Noah Rack comes away with the first face-off win of the second half. Hofstra's goals against average, third best in the nation, coming into play today. They've allowed 6. They kept the game close throughout the first half. Can they slow down this UMass offense? Lasauskas, he's got the rock now. He scored a goal in that first half. Matched up with freshman Keegan Santos.
You're gonna look at that UMass sub game, trying to create that odd man situation. Do a great job of it. Do it in different ways. You know, some teams have, you know, one method or 2 ways to do it. They do it through the line, through the actual substitution box. They do it with picks. They keep their long pole in the field, so they're very creative with their sub game.
Trainer flipped it out, now cutting through Devin Spencer. Some creativity out of Buddy Carr, but could not find the sophomore. Turnover UMass. Hofstra trying to get its first possession going of half number 2. Kincannon assisting in the clear game. "11 saves for the Tewaaraton top 25 nominee. We'll see another one of those later tonight. Zach Goodrich, Defensive Player of the Year in the conference after being named preseason Conference Player of the Year. 3 different goal scorers for Hofstra in that first half. Dylan Alderman, Jimmy Yanis, and Dylan McIntosh. No goals for Ryan Tierney. Alderman pushed through the alley, dish to Yanis. He is drilled down. Scanoni scoops it away from him. A violation by Hofstra, UMass possession.
And another simple, you know, empty possession, simple turnover. If you're Hofstra, it's very frustrating. You don't mind if a guy takes a chance, tries to force one on the inside that could lead to a good shot, or could be like what I call a 50-50 pass, could be a goal, could be a turnover. But these simple plays where guys are just dropping passes, guys are just slipping, falling in the crease, you can't have that happen on offense.
8 turnovers and counting for Hofstra. UMass gets situated. Spencer and O'Brien eyeing each other. St. Laurent comes on to the goal line. Carr is all over the place. You never know where he's going to be. 2 goals today for Buddy Carr, the leading point scorer in the CAA this season. Connolly to Spencer.
And UMass again here, early in the second half, attacking the Hofstra short sticks. They like those matchups. It creates those slide and rotation opportunities where they can move it, and then their shooters and their guys on the inside can get their hands free, find space, and get looks like that.
That was Ben Spencer. He can absolutely fling it from outside. 3-goal game, no scoring yet here in the second half. O'Brien outside. Spencer again, denied. Jack Kincannon save number 12. This is an effort that you had spoke about at halftime. That first half has to carry over for Hofstra to stay in this game.
Yeah, and absolutely. And he's dialed in right there. He was on it the whole way, already down on the shot. Coach Canella talked about it at halftime of them changing the angles of their stick right there. He was able to track that the whole way. Got to do a better job of changing up the plane of your stick and trying to fool this goalie Kincannon, because right now he's just dialed in.
Despite the 14 goals allowed last week when these two faced each other to close the season, Kincannon still had 10 saves. A lot of the play in front of him was sloppy. Alderman draws the long pole. Yanis reels it in, fires underneath, bottled up, and Scanoni with the save.
It's the same story for Hofstra's offense. It's shot selection and turnovers offensively. Their defense has done a nice job here today. All things considered, played a lot of defense. The offense really has not helped them out at all, again, with their shot selection, their turnovers.
Anthony Reale helped clear UMass with the first score of the second half. Jeff Trainer's second. He got the scoring started in the game altogether, and he comes up with the score here to make it 7-3.
Another great look of that early offense. Wasn't a clean break, but as you see here, it's all about the substitution game. Hofstra doesn't do a good job of getting matched up before you could cover or get to your matchups, because every team has them, who you want to cover, who you want covering who. You just got to stop the ball. And Trainer right there, nobody picks him up. He just steps in and lets it rip. And again, another example of how UMass, early in these possessions, they just attack you, and you've got to be prepared for those early punches.
A significant leap from year one to year two for sophomore Jeff Trainer. Made the all-rookie team in the CAA last year. All-conference first team this year.
And it all starts with that turnover from Hofstra's offense. So that sloppy turnover now leads to them clearing the ball and that early offense that they're so good at. So that's why the turnovers, not only do you lose a possession, but now you give it to UMass and you give it to them in a position that they're most comfortable, and that's clearing the ball and playing that early offense. So again, Hofstra's got to take care of the ball, got to eliminate these turnovers.
Rax won the last two draws at the X. Devin Spencer barely got rid of it. Looped out to Trainer. Shorty on him. Trainer trying to bully his way in. Skip pass. Lysoskis weaving in, and he missed it wide.
He didn't get anything but hit.
So nonchalant with those skip passes, but this UMass offense, again, it's been so smooth all year. They're just going to keep doing what they do. Devin Spencer with the dish. Tobin stopped Kincannon, save number 14 of the game. We're almost midway through quarter number 3. UMass has scored 6 of the game's last 7. It was once 2-1 Hofstra. Here's another look at Kincannon.
Just a little step down here, beats his man, gets a little help from the pipe, goalie's best friend.
Offense remains patient for the Minutemen. 9 straight wins. They haven't lost in 2 months. Can they keep it going to go to the title game? Buddy Carr with the ball. Ellis the short stick.
Timer on for UMass. Just about 20 left here with the shot clock.
Lysoskis draws Griffin. Now 10 to shoot. Carr stopped Kincannon again. Save 15. What more could you ask for? Still a lot of time left. Quarter and a half, and Jack Kincannon has shown up to play today.
Can he score some goals maybe? Yeah, can we ask him for that?
We'll see. Hofstra still down 4. Trainer with his left. Slung it wide.
Big spot here in this game. UMass with this lead. Long possession here. Hofstra really cannot afford to give up a goal here. Just be absolutely demoralizing to them, I think, mentally against this UMass team. Need to get a stop here. Need to get it back to their offense.
Ben Spencer twining through. Had it down to his brother, Devin. Ben's got it back. Devin airs it out. Carr, stop up top by the Hofstra defense. Brett Osman, the captain. Now can the Pride clear as the freshman Santos scrums away? And the Pride sideline is alive. Finger nail-biting sequence there, and they come away with the turnover.
Needed that stop. That was a huge, huge stop for them defensively. Osman just steps in front there, just eats that ball. That's like my worst nightmare as a defenseman. I wasn't a guy that stepped in front of a lot of shots, not going to lie. Usually got out of the way. But give a lot of credit to Osman there, stepping in front there, making a stop for his team, because, again, that was a crucial defensive stand for Hofstra.
We appreciate your honesty.
I'll always be honest.
Alex Mosier fires up top. Nope, it was a pass to Yanis. Can they get Tierney going? Just brought that ball in off a tight feed. It's got Valenza and Eisenstadt defending on the UMass side. 5.5 to play in the third. Hofstra is down by 4. They haven't scored since the midway point of the first during this run. Yanis stops Scanoni, turns his head around. Kavanaugh was trying to come in for the rebound, and Scanoni knocks him out.
And that was a great look from Yanis. Great job splitting that double team, swimming a guy, getting his hands free. Had a little bit more time if he wanted to maybe throw a fake in there, but that's a shot he's got to finish. This Hofstra offense really needed that to build some momentum and some confidence, but good save there from UMass. Again, take a look here. He's going to get top side, splits that double team, and just a huge save from Scanone.
UMass with the ball. 6 of the last 7 have been theirs as far as goals. Carr is hanging out in front. Feed up the alley. Nearly knocked out. Hofstra's Luke Gomez close by to Dom St. Laurent. UMass has been to the title game 2 of the last 3 years, trying to make it 3 of the last 4. And Hofstra has not been to the championship game of the conference since 2014. Carr. Drop. On the skip. Spencer. It was a look for St. Laurent, but came up empty. Jack Kincannon with yet another save. That's number 16.
Hodge did a nice job 6-on-6. Just got to do a little bit better job off ball. That's where UMass has gotten them with some off ball cuts and drop it into spots and finding space. So they just got to be a little bit more alert. But their on-ball defense has been pretty good. Their initial slides have been good. It's just those second and third slides and covering up guys on the inside when you're rotating.
3 minutes to go in the third. O'Brien has Spencer available. Goes to him. UMass averages close to 12 goals a game. 21st in the nation, 1st in the conference. Spencer getting draped on by Osman, the captain, on D for Hofstra. Shot clock is down to 20. St. Laurent. 8 seconds for UMass. Second time the clock's been on this quarter. Carr with the drop off to Connolly. 2 seconds to shoot, and a turnover caused. Hofstra, again, a great defensive possession, hanging alive there.
And it's complete opposite of what we've talked about all game, is Hofstra wants to play those long possessions and shorten the game. Now UMass with the lead, you could see that offensively they've changed up a little bit, slowing things down, taking these long possessions and shortening this game. And then here's another sloppy turnover from Hofstra. and now you got to play defense again. I would assume Hofstra's defensemen are starting to get tired here.
Philpott, the two-way midi, searching for Connolly on the doorstep, and luckily for Hofstra, while they got those subs in, thrown away by the Minutemen. We have 90 seconds to go in the third. If you're just joining us, Hofstra, the 4 seed, UMass, the top seed in this conference tournament. The Minutemen are looking for their first appearance in the NCAA tournament since 2012. They are the top seed and have earned it with a 5-0 conference record. Jack Kincannon for Hofstra, a Tewaaraton finalist, has 16 saves in this game.
Be huge for Hofstra to get one here. Carry some momentum into that fourth quarter. Haven't scored all quarter long, so got to build some confidence. Would be huge to get one here for Hofstra.
Tierney's yet to put one home today. He's been shut down, feet out in front. McIntosh wiggling for room. To Yanis, back to Tierney with 25 seconds to go in the frame. Hofstra hasn't scored since the midway point of the second. Brendan Kavanaugh with some space. Misfires over the crossbar, still 16 seconds. Yanis fighting through. Yanis puts it home through Scanoni. The bottom right pocket, and as Steve mentioned, a crucial one for Hofstra. It's a 3-goal game.
Huge goal for Hofstra. Cut this lead to 3. They've had plenty of opportunity, so build some confidence. If you Coach Tierney, you can grab your guys and say, hey, we're only down 3. We've got a whole quarter to play. And Yanis right there, guy all over his hands, able to get that shot off as he comes top side. So he missed one early on, an easier one than that, but makes up for it right there and cuts this lead down to 3.
Still 11 seconds to spare here in the third.
Hofstra got both teams have their wingmen all the way down to the defensive end. Neither one wants to give up a goal here.
UMass trying to put another one on as Noah Rack sails it up over the bar. 2 seconds for the Minutemen. They'll try and get one more shot off. Rack still on the field. Connolly will be the man to dish. Play resumes. And a poor pass from Connolly. Time expires here in the third. Hofstra gets a big goal out of Jimmy Yanis, but UMass still has a 3-goal lead as we look back here. UMass padding its lead. Jeff Traynor, he's been lethal throughout the course of the season. So hasn't Jimmy Yanis for Hofstra, his second of the day. 7-4 UMass as we go to the fourth quarter of the CAA tournament, first semifinal. Beautiful night in Amherst. Start of the fourth quarter of semifinal number 1. UMass leading Hofstra 7-4. Hey, don't forget, we're with you Saturday as well. The CAA men's tournament concludes Saturday on Lac Sports Network with the championship game. Coverage gets underway at 12:30 Eastern with the Lacrosse Now pregame show. And then find out who will earn the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament when LSN brings you live coverage of the title game. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern on LSN. Steve Panarelli and Brendan Glasheen with you. Jack Kincannon, 16 saves, 3 off his career high, keeping Hofstra in this game.
And you said it, keeping him in this game. Without him, I'm really not sure what this score might be, but only down 3 going into the fourth. All things considered, you got to like where you're at, and it's really because of the play of him, the saves he's been able to make, and again, keeping this team in the game. For them now, it's just controlling their turnovers, working for good shots, and finding ways to score some goals, because defensively, they've done a nice job. 3 quarters, and with the amount of time they've played on the defensive end, only to give up 7. Not bad from Hofstra, so they still got a chance here. Face-offs will be key. They've done a good job of that so far today, so Hofstra's got a shot, and if you're UMass, just continue the same way you've been playing all game long, and I like what they've done in that third quarter. Possessions, they stretched out their possessions offensively. and shorten this half in this game. So see what happens here in this fourth quarter.
Crucial win for Gallagher at X. His rack is draped all over him from behind. Flag comes in on the goal line. It's loose on the sideline, plucked out by Hofstra. 7-4 is our score as Keegan Santos playing a game of chase with the UMass midfielders. And we'll get the call here in a moment. Once again, Tim McCaffrey is our head referee for the CAA tournament game.
4-5, push is 30 seconds. 45 right, push, 30.
So the push by Luke Valenza, second time he is put in the penalty box. Second opportunity for Hofstra on the man up.
Yeah, Gallagher right there wins that face-off clean, gets the push from behind. Big spot in this game right here. Hofstra scoring that goal late in the third. Get an opportunity here, man up. Would be would be really nice for Hofstra to get a goal right here.
Hofstra third best man up percentage in the conference. Look out for McIntosh, 47. He's got 6 man up goals this year. He's behind the cage. Tierney's the point man, 43. Has yet to score today. Tierney had it deflected by Paparo. Rushes back to get it, just 7 seconds left in the chance. UMass is back to full strength. Sam Eisenstadt onto the field. Valenza will sit out this sequence as we're a minute into the fourth. Third straight conference tournament for Hofstra. They haven't been in the championship game since 2014. UMass has been to the title game 2 of the last 3 years as Scanoni reels in a stop after Mosier fired from outside.
And another poor shot. Give a lot of credit to Scanoni. Done a nice job here today making all the saves, but Hofstra shooters settled for some bad shots, some low-angled, guys with with defensemen all over their hands, pressure. Just poor shot selection from Hofstra.
3 straight games with double-digit saves for Sean Scanoni, junior goalie from East Islip, New York. Was fighting for starting time, not just this year, but last year as well. DJ Smith was one of the top goalies in the conference last year for the Minutemen. Early this season, Hampton Brannon, a freshman, had the job. Scanoni has been the man since the Delaware game. Tobin with Ellis all over him. Now it's Carr with Griffin matched up. Tierney remains in the game on defense.
UMass will attack that matchup, try to attack the attackman for Hofstra. But that's what UMass creates. Because of their transition, it forces guys.
Feed in front to Jake Lisauskis, his second. And once again, UMass leads by 4. This time it's in the fourth.
And as I was saying, because they get out and run so well, it forces you to have attackmen or offensive middies stay on the field because you just got to get in the hole and stop the break. And then right here, they attack Tierney, the attackman, create the slide there, and Lisauskis able to finish there, off ball. Nice job from UMass. And again, because of their early transition, it puts so much pressure on you, and then it creates mismatches on the defensive end.
Native of Derry, New Hampshire, one of the captains of this UMass team. Had 4 goals all of last year as a junior. It's up to 16 in his senior campaign. 2.5 minutes deep into the fourth. Hofstra's hung around, but UMass consistently has found answers. Want to hit on Tierney again there. What can Hofstra do better to get him open? Is there just too much credit for UMass here, just the way they've defended him?
Well, I think, obviously he's got a tough matchup here today. The top defenseman in the CAA guarding him, so it's going to be difficult. We said it early in the game, those senior midfielders were going to have to be huge, win their matchups, draw some slides. He's great off ball in a catch-and-shoot position. So it's just a tough day for him. He needs his teammates to help him a little bit. Some of his shot selection like some of his teammates, has not been the best today, but you can understand that he's trying to make a play, he's trying to get his offense going, trying to be the leader that he needs to be. But again, I talked about it earlier, I thought the senior midfielders were going to have to have huge games, and so far they haven't really answered the bell.
6 shots for Tierney, no goals. And a moment ago, you just saw Kyle Gallagher, Hofstra's face-off man, get absolutely drilled. Clean hit, though, by the UMass transition team. And this crowd just went bananas with 11:40 now to go in the fourth. Trainer continues to direct traffic. Connolly's been behind the cage most of the game. Down the alley, Carr, over to Connolly, the man cutting was Spencer. He could not put it home, and a whistle is against Hofstra. No penalty flag, just a violation.
Take a look there at that feed on the inside. And they got him for a loose ball push. Possession back to UMass.
Nine straight wins for UMass. It was March 6th, the last time they lost here. It was to number 1 Albany. Ran the table in conference play. They'll try to keep it rolling into the title game, which would be on their home field on Saturday. Again, coming up next here on LSM, we'll have number 3 Delaware and number 2 Towson. CAA tournament semifinal number 2. From out deep, it's Lasoskis, save Kincannon, number 17 of the day. Stays with UMass though.
And that keeps the shot clock off. You know, UMass here, starting that middle of the third quarter and continued it through the fourth now with these long possessions, really, settling for great shots, not taking bad shots. Now Kincannon makes that save, keeps that shot clock off for them for another, 30 or 40 seconds. So they're going to just keep burning this clock.
Feed in front, Spencer the bluff. Kincannon has just tied his career high with 19 saves. Playing like his head's on backwards. Hofstra thought to have had the turnover. Not the case. Tanner Griffin shaking his head in disarray. Connolly has it back, goal line extended.
And this is my biggest beef with the shot clock rule, right? Right now UMass obviously not playing aggressive, killing the clock. The games would be so much more interesting if it was a 30 or a minute shot clock where Hofstra was going to get it back, give them more possessions. And now it's in the ref's discretion to make a decision on when to put it on, which I don't like putting anything in the ref's hands.
Outside shot, UMass back up by Trainer. Well, certainly in the indoor game, you have the constant 30-second shot clock, and then in the field game as well, it's implicated. What would you like the time to be? Any proposition?
I think with college, much more conservative fan base and traditionalist, maybe a minute 30. If you want to extend it a little bit longer, but some kind of a shot clock.
Ball movement is crisp again, and UMass nearly converts. Jesse Lung was the recipient of the pass, did not get a clean shot off. Fires back wide of the cage.
And again, they just bought themselves even more time with these last few shots. It's almost in their favor for it not to be a goal. Just keep burning clock. I think Hofstra may have called that timeout there.
8:23 to go in regulation.
Timeout, Hofstra.
8-4 lead for UMass. Carr's got 2 goals, 2 assists. Trainer with 2 goals, 2 assists today. Star attackman. Carr played some midfield last year as well. And Trainer, of course, is star midi. Kincannon as we've spoke on throughout the course of the night, both of these guys a couple weeks back were selected in the 2018 Major League Lacrosse Collegiate Draft. Same round, 4th round. Kincannon going to the Florida Launch. And then we can't forget Noah Rack, the work he's done at the X the last handful of years for UMass. 30th overall to Charlotte. 2 teams in the MLL that are in much need of a face-off man and a goalie.
Yeah, and I you know, the way Kincannon's played here today, he's going to see the same type of game. You know, a lot of shots, a lot of possession, in tight shots, just the way the MLL is. So today was his audition. He did a nice job so far here today, and I think he has a good future in the league. I think Rack, you know, he'll have to get used to the other face-off guys. I mean, it's different when you play college. Now you're playing against literally the top 7, 8 guys week in and week out. It's a different grind for face-off guys, so he'll have an adjustment period, but I think Kincannon can make an immediate impact.
Again, 19 saves. The CAA tournament single game record for saves in a game is 20. That was set by Austin Cott of Penn State against UMass. That was 7 years ago. And unfortunately, the way it looks now for Jack Kincannon, his 20 might come in a losing effort. How much more clock can UMass bleed down here? With the ball, and we're close to the midway point of the quarter.
Well, that's the other thing too. Now, if you're the officials, does the clock reset in your head as far as putting the timer on? You know, obviously they get a stop there and get the save, but another part of the rule that, you know, after a timeout, you know, how do the refs look at that? You know, UMass has played a long possession. Now they get a timeout. Does it reset for them? So, just another reason why I just don't like the way the rule is set up as of now.
Ellis trying to bulldoze in. Nice help defense by Jake Marino, a short stick defensive midfielder for UMass. Jack Kincannon with 20 saves. He's now matched a CAA tournament single game record. Still 7+ minutes to go in the game. Alderman, he scored Hofstra's first goal. Kavanaugh to Tierney. Matched up with Subak. Marino fighting, and there's room for a score. Dylan Alderman. First goal since the first. Hofstra cuts it to 3 with a little over 7 minutes to go in the game.
Huge goal, gets Hofstra right back into this game. Cuts the lead down to 3. And Alderman right here just takes it off of the top. Slide comes a little late, doesn't come physical the way UMass usually likes to slide. And he's able to finish it left-handed there. And now Hofstra, these face-offs become so crucial. With the way UMass is playing offensively, the way they're draining the clock, possessions are so critical to them right now. They've got to win these face-offs.
This is Alderman's 10th game out of Hofstra's total of 14. He had to battle a groin/hamstring injury earlier in the season. Couple of midfielders injured for this Hofstra team early on, and Seth Tierney made sure to mention that he understands every team in the country deals with injuries. But his top scoring threats, with no Josh Bird coming into the season, did scare him a bit. Noah Rack wins the draw. Rack to the house. Got knocked up. Devin Spencer almost brought it in for the Minutemen. That rush shot by Rack gives Hofstra the ball.
And that's exactly what you want if you're Hofstra. You know, the face-off guy trying to get maybe a little too aggressive here with just under 7 minutes and a 3-goal lead. Try to pull that thing out, burn some more clock, and give it to your more skilled, you know, offensive players. And now Hofstra's got possession, so that's a huge turning point right here. And it gives Hofstra even more life here in the fourth quarter.
Last year, it was the Pride that was handed heartbreak in the CAA tournament. Can they go on a rally and do it right back to UMass? Still a lot to go. 6 minutes and change. Tierney has not scored yet today. Knocked out by UMass. He was sandwiched. Here they come in transition. Lasoskis with the dish. Carr getting bodied up. Now Ellis is trying to reach in for Hofstra.
Big ground ball here.
Knocked out by Dan O'Brien, and he comes away with it for UMass. Sophomore for the Minutemen. What a sequence that was.
Like kiddie soccer, you know, when all the kids are around the ball, everybody's trying to kick it. That's what that was, except with sticks and guys taking arms off.
And no shin guards.
And no shin guards.
Connolly flips it up top to Spencer. 5 minutes to go in regulation. Winner of this one advances to the title game on Saturday. They'll get the winner of Delaware and Towson, which is later tonight, approximately 7:30 Eastern here on LSN. Spencer has the fire. Save Kincannon. That's a new single game record in the CAA tournament. 21 saves for Jack Kincannon. What a performance. This team's still down 3. Lynch guarded tightly. Found Tierney. Now Alderman sees the room in the alley. He scores! Hat trick for Dylan Alderman, and we've got a 2-goal game.
And we talked about this senior midfield. They've got to get going here if Hofstra's offense is going to have a shot at getting this thing tied up. And right now, Dylan Alderman 2 in a row, answering the call. Hofstra needed this from this guy right here. He attacks the short stick, realized that there's really no slide coming. UMass's defense wasn't set, giving them a dose of their own medicine of attacking early in a possession before a defense can get set, before those slide packages can get set. Good recognition from Alderman, attacks the short stick and able to bury it and cut this lead down to 2. And I said it before, now these possessions become even more critical as this clock winds. Hofstra needs these face-offs.
Talked about the injury he's had to battle through. Last year he was a first-team selection in the league. This year his second-team selection. Has gotten hot at the end of the year, and it's showing in tournament play. Scrum for another ground ball, as we saw about a minute ago. Comes out to Philpott. Rack found his wing, and Philpott pulled away.
Obviously, Concannon's giving you everything he's got, but they need a little bit more. They're going to need at least 1 or 2 more stops here with under 4. Going to need him to make just a few more saves if they're going to have a shot at getting this thing tied up.
Rax controlled the X in the second half. He's now 10 for 17 in the game. It's been all Gallagher today for Hofstra. 7 of 18. Carr to Spencer. As Trainer out in front. Now it's Carr. Puckhaber matched up on Connolly. Trainer in tight. Kincannon with another save, covers it up. 22 and counting for Kincannon. 3 minutes to go.
Just an unbelievable performance from this kid. Senior year. Looking at what could possibly be your last game, CAA semis here. This kid has just absolutely stepped up and put this team on his back.
Just 2 goals allowed in the second half, and what do you know, Hofstra's hanging around their goals against average for the season. Just under 8 per. Right now it's at 8. Yanis has 2. Kavanaugh with the matchup. Now it's Tierney's turn. Alderman on his left. Tierney wants to take it himself. Flip out in front. McIntosh trying to slip it by, but it's skittered out wide. And a timeout for Greg Canella and UMass. Yanis did get the backup, and it will be Hofstra ball out of the timeout. Again, don't forget, semifinal number 2 of the CAA tournament is coming up next here on LSN. Second seed Towson, the reigning champs, take on number 3 Delaware. Tigers are looking for their 4th straight CAA title. The Blue Hens' first time in the tournament since 2014. Their last title game appearance was 2011. Game scheduled for 7:30, depending on when this one ends. The way it's going, it could be a while. Should Hofstra make it a game. Every game of the CAA tournament is live only on LAC Sports Network. Former Syracuse All-American Steve Panarelli and Brendan Glasheen with you. This has turned out to be a pretty good finish. Hofstra outscoring UMass in the second half. Hofstra finding ways to score, and they've gone to Alderman, and Yanis has been the other guy who's exploded today.
Give him a lot of credit. Obviously with what happened last week, UMass went on that Big Ten goal run and just ended them in that game. Started to go that way. UMass was starting to build confidence. They were starting to extend that lead, and Hofstra stuck with it. Obviously, Concannon was huge with some saves, but offensively they've gotten going here in the fourth. They've got it to 2:10 left, plenty of time. Don't have to rush offensively here. Obviously you got to go, but no reason to throw a bad pass, take a bad shot. Stick with the game plan and try to still work for a good shot. And again, because of what you've done at the face-off X, you have confidence that you can get it back after you score here.
Is Alderman your guy in this spot, depending on the look?
Yeah, I think so. I think they've had the most success attacking the short sticks, whether it be from behind or off the wing. Maybe bring a pick to him, try to get him a little space there, but definitely go with the midfielders. They've had the most success. Yanis is not a bad option either. He's had some good looks, driving with his right hand. But I think I would go with the midfielders.
Yanis on the kick out, he turned it over. He was looking for one of his middies up top, and his pass was intercepted. 1:40 to go in regulation. And there is a flag, multiple flags now being thrown. Marino, rocket score! The shorty with his third goal of the season. And then now the lead is 3 for the top seed in this tournament, UMass.
And it feels like the same story for Hofstra. Sloppy turnover on the offensive side leads to UMass goal. And Marino just steps down, blows it by Concannon. And again, it started with that turnover from Yanis, just driving right-handed, and there's really no reason to turn that ball over there. It was just a simple pass to his teammate. And again, leads to that UMass transition. Hofstra goes off sides, and then UMass just rips it with Marino.
They're starting to sense it here in Amherst. 3-goal lead. Noah Rack with the win at X.
Number 24, Jake.
And more clock can dwindle for the Minutemen.
Number 10, Chris.
Again, a title game appearance is not rare. This would be their third over the last 4 years. What they are waiting for is their first NCAA tournament, or their first championship, in 6 years, since 2012. They're here on Saturday at 1 o'clock should they hold this lead. Under a minute left. Ellis on the ground. Osman going after him. Staying with UMass. Hofstra did have possession. Tobin was knocked down to the turf. And the frustrations are starting to loom here for Hofstra. .30 seconds. Trainer on the door. Floats in a score for Tobin. And that'll ice it for UMass. Tobin, a freshman, an all-rookie selection with goal number 10. UMass is going back to the title game.
Tobin just finishes Hofstra off with that last goal. It's what you call the garbage goal. Defense is out extending, trying to create a turnover, and usually leads to opportunities like this when you're doubling the ball, and Tobin's able to finish.
Have to feel for a player like Kincannon, a senior, again, a draft pick of the MLL. 22 saves, a new single game record in the CAA tournament. Other seniors on the roster: Trevor Kupecki, Alex Mosier, Dylan Alderman, Brendan Kavanaugh, Brendan Lynch, Luke Gomez, Mark Ellis, a grad student, Brett Osman, Tanner Griffin, a bunch of seniors. Hofstra wanted revenge at this team from what happened a year ago, and it's not going to happen as the captain, Osman, is livid. And he's been tossed from the game. Our officials will confer and get this straightened out. Still 13 seconds to go. Jack Kincannon displaying sportsmanship, talking to Tobin.
We got 2 penalties. White 34, unnecessary roughness, 1 minute. White 34, unnecessary for 1. Blue, unsportsmanlike, 27. 1 minute, full time.
I beg your pardon, that's just 1 minute for Osman. The gesture the official gave looked as if he was done for the game.
Well, he is done for the game. 13 seconds left.
1 minute penalty to Hofstra.
Tom Myers taking the last face-off.
At 13 seconds.
And now the clock can go down. 13 seconds. Trainer's going to hold on to it. And that is going to do it. The top seed in this CAA tournament, the UMass Minutemen, are going to their 3rd conference tournament championship game in the last 4 years. Greg Canella's squad with a 10-6 win. UMass looking for their first title in 6 years on Saturday for a chance to go to the NCAA tournament.